Welcome in. It is day 26 and you're speaking with the Meeples Champion. Today we're going to be jumping into one of my favorite simple games, and that game is Cursed Court. Cursed Court is a pretty straightforward game. The idea is that there are 9 different characters or avatars, and you're trying to figure out how many are currently in the game. The way that it works is, depending on total number of players, you put a card between you and each player. So if you're playing in a 4-player game, there'll be 4 cards. You can look at the card directly to your left and directly to your right, meaning to your left, you and one player will share a card. To your right, you and one player will share a card. They will do the same with the player on that side. As a result, you have some shared knowledge about what already exists on this board. You then have 20 chips and 4 crowns. The 4 crowns represent the 4 rounds you're going to be playing in. The way the game works is, you can bid directly onto the image of one of those cards. Or you can bid on different spots on the board that's set up. 3 in a row, 3 in a corner, 4 in a corner. You have a bunch of different designs, and you're trying to figure out how many cards by the end of the game, or the end of this entire round I should say, are going to be there. The way the game will work is, starting with player 1, they will put out a crown with as many of the chips they want to bid as possible. You can always bid 0 and just use the crown to occupy a space. However, once you've put a chip there, now in order to be defeated, somebody else would have to outbid you by doubling at minimum your bid. Meaning, if you have 20 chips, you can guarantee 1 spot on the board by bidding 11. So if you have absolute knowledge, you can always bid 11. However, the way that this game works is, you also are revealing new cards. So there are 4 to start, and then there's 1 in the middle. Face up, everybody can see it. You all do your bids. If somebody is bid out, then that player gets to bid again until everybody has put 1 crown on. Once that has occurred, now you flip a new card and everybody gets to bid with their 2nd crown. You do it a 3rd time, you do it a 4th time. By the time you now have gotten to this last round, you have 4 face-up cards of knowledge, and you have 4 face-down cards, meaning you know 2 of them, they know 2, he knows 2. But everybody only has a total of 6 out of 8 pieces of information. So you might be trying to trick people because you know, all right, I see that there's a face-up of this character, and this person knows that we share 1, and this person knows that we share 1, but they don't know that I know that there are 2 more of him here, meaning that bidding directly on the character is very strong right now. And as a result, if I wait and I bide my time because everybody's thinking, all right, there's only 2 of them, it's not a lot of points, and I try to snake in there at the end, I might be able to get a huge pointed character for cheap. That's knowing where you're going to fall when it comes to the bidding order, and if you're going to be able to get that really late and not have to worry about you bid on it and now they know and then they bid on it, trying to outbid you. So you have that kind of a strategy, whereas there's also the possibilities of you're trying to bluff people, you're bidding on areas to try to make everybody else think that there's 3 in a row when there isn't, or at least based on your 2 cards of information there isn't. There's a lot of ways to play the game. It's a lot of knowing your opponents, but it's so much fun because you play out the round, you do your 4 mini rounds, you do your end, you score, and then you shift that first player, you do it again, and then you shift your first player and you do it a 3rd time. So you get 3 huge scoring rounds. It's a very simple game. It's a little bit poker-esque with the bluffing and with the chips. You know, it's a very, information is everything. It's key in this game. So where does this come down? When it comes down to the uniqueness, I really don't know another game like this. When it comes down to the art, I personally enjoy this box art, but I have heard this game has not become widely known because its box art, it's not bad, it's just not amazing. It doesn't stand out. I understand that. I prefer the way that they did it. I think they did a great job. It grabbed my attention. I didn't hear about this game from somebody else. I saw the box and went, what's that? and I looked at it and I read and I watched a little bit of a how to play and I went, okay, I want this game. And I picked it up myself without anybody else having ever heard of it. And every time I pull the game out for a new group, it's always the same response. They see it, they go, okay, yeah, what's this? And by the end of the game, they're like, that was really good. I want to play that game again. So it's a great game. It just isn't very well advertised because its art doesn't grab you. It doesn't make you want to know what the game is. I do enjoy the art. I don't give them, a giant thumbs up. They're not getting a 5 out of 5. I give them a 4 out of 5, but I think in reality, most people would say this is a 3 out of 5, maybe even a 2. When it comes to the price, it's cheap. It was $40. That's not much money. I think that's perfectly fine. And when it comes to the ways to win, I mean, it's a straightforward game. There's only really one way to win. But at the same time, that's perfectly fine. That's what the game is. Everybody sees that. This is not a game that shows you you're going to be playing for 2 hours and here's the 9 things you can do, but you only really want to do A and B. No. This is a game that says this game will take less than an hour and this is what we're doing and you're just trying to do it better than everybody else. Okay. I recommend it. I think everybody should try the game. It is not a have to own. You don't have to put this in your collection, but I think you should try to play it. I think that a lot of people can enjoy it, and I think this is a game that if you are a big gamer like me, I can pull this out and have a fun time because it's not a mechanic you see a lot. It's not often that you have a real bluffing, bidding type game like this that's simple. At the same time, somebody new coming in can play this because it still is only bluffing and bidding. It's not too much to figure out. They're not going to be confused on round 1 or 2. They're going to understand the game before they've done their first turn. So I recommend it to be owned for those who really like those mechanics, but I don't think this is a must-own game. I think this is a must-play game. Give it a try and then make your decision. This has been Cursed Court on day 26, and you've been speaking with the Meeples Champion. Check in tomorrow on day 27. Talk to you then.